Yeah, welcome back guys to Hobbies and Gadgets. So today, let's talk about wiring. Guys, I couldn't do this vlog inside the van. It was hot as brass today. And this is about my 12 volt electrics in my van. So basically I've done a few little video clips inside the van, but I couldn't stay in there no longer to explain it. So what I'll be doing, I'll be putting up a few little videos and explaining what I did. So example guys, lighting. Obviously mine's on a loop system, and you got to realise that if you buy the lights I've bought, they come with a little short cable, and that wire only draws certain ampage, and obviously all those lights are connected to one cable. So example, my cable, what it's connected to is 7.5 amp cable, sufficient for 12 volt lighting. But you have to be careful, because I've seen a lot of people wire it up to like it's like a speaker wire, really low ampage wire, and that wire does get hot. People think 12 volt electrics can't come on, go on fire, but they're wrong. 100% it can. And another thing is, example, my fridge. That draws a lot of electric through 12 volt. I've wired it up now with a stronger cable. You can see guys, this is a normal 12 volt 42 amp wire. And the reason we're talking about wires today, example, Dometic fridges. Obviously the wire you get with it, you get like a 2 meter wire. So technically that 2 meter wire, well, this one's only got a meter wire. My last fridge had 2 meters, and obviously you can't reach to the battery, so I extended it with different wire, but that wire, it was only 7.5 amp wire. So all the fridge was doing at the back was getting hot, but it wasn't getting cold on 12 volt. Obviously I put the inverter on, no problems. So to solve your problem, you need cable like this. As you can see, look how thick that 12 volt cable is. You can use 240 cable, house cable, but you got to realise the strands are different to 12 volt to 240 volt, if that makes sense. So you'll get better results with a 12 volt cable. You need a lot of power to go through a 240 cable, if that makes sense to you. But anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to rig this up now, because obviously my fridge is not working on 12 volt because of how thin the cable is, and I'm going to leave it on for 4 hours and I'll show you. A better look at the wire. As you can see, I've cut it down, took the sheeting off, the fire protecting sheeting, or whatever you want to call it, the rubber sheeting, and there you go. Look at the cable. This is going straight to my 12 volt battery. I will be putting a fuse on here. Make sure the amp wire is the same as your wire, basically. So if it's 42 amp wire, use 42 amp, don't use lower than 42 amps, or you're gonna have the same issue. But what I'll do, I'll just cut this and I'll put 2 crimps on it, and I'll just put a little fuse on it and sellotape it up. Cool. So I've got my inline fuse, or my line fuse. Gonna connect this to the battery, and then connect this bit to the fridge and leave it on for 4 hours. As you can see guys, this is the fridge cable. It does tell you what ampage the cable is. Obviously you can't really see it on this one, but it's 12 volt. Don't tell me how many amps it is. Can't see the amp. It was on there. But as you can see, look at the thickness of the cable. And this is the cable what I had it wired up to. This thin thing. I don't know, sorry about the lighting guys, but that thin thing, look at that. And you've got to know about wiring, because like the wire what I just showed you, that little white wire, is what I wired up my lights, and 7.5 amps is okay for lighting. It's 42 amps, 12 volt obviously, cable, and you'll tell the difference. If you look on your fridge, that is the size cable technically what you need, especially if your fridge is not next to your battery, and obviously if you're extending the cable, you're going to need a thicker current cable, if that makes sense, because you're weakening the current what goes through that cable. If you test the speaker line, example, it will still say 13 amps or whatever you're drawing, because obviously you're registering from the battery, so you're reading the meter from the battery. but you're not getting the sufficient current going to your fridge, and that is one of your main sources in a camper van, is your fridge. So always upgrade your 12 volt fridge cable. Don't use the lighting, bloody hell, it's getting hot here. Don't use the lighting cable like 7.5 amps, if that makes sense to you guys. So always use the correct ampage wire, because like I had my fridge on a 7.5 cable, and it was getting hot, the fridge was getting hot at the back, but it wasn't producing enough voltage to get my fridge cold enough, so the compressor wasn't kicking in. Now it's working fine. Obviously I tested it, you know, I did do a video inside the van, but it was so much hard work, guys, and I was sweating. I'll show you a little video. Look how hot it is today. I am sweating in here, sweating buckets. I think this would have been a bit better for you, you know, walking through the woods, bit of wildlife. So let's get on to the 240. 240 is a bit more trickier, especially the way I've got mine set up. Obviously my man cave, I call it, is off grid. I've never ever had a problem. Obviously I had a problem with my inverter, but let me show you, obviously I ain't got no videos, but let me explain how I set up my off-rig man cave. So obviously my 12 volt solar panel obviously charges up the battery, and all my plug sockets, bloody hell, so all my plug sockets, guys, are live. And how I did that, basically I wired a plug into my plug sockets, and then I plugged the plug into the inverter, if that makes sense to you, and then I switch on the inverter and all my plug sockets come live. But if you're using shore power, make sure you unplug the plug from the inverter. If you don't, you can blow your inverter up, so you have to be careful with that. And or you can buy a relay. You can actually buy a relay switch for them, but they're quite expensive. They're like £80, so it's a bit expensive, but if there's power going to that plug, it just shuts it off straight away for you automatically. That's a good, you know, a good little safety feature. So I might get one of them, I'm not really sure, because to be honest I don't really use shore power. You know, I've never had an issue with my batteries at the moment. So, and we're getting some good weather up there. Look at that, just look at the weather up there, guys. Bloody hell. I'm gonna take a walk back now because it is beaming down there. So yeah, if you want me to explain a bit more, like on a graph and that, leave the comments below, guys, and I'll show you how I set mine up, because every van is different, you know. Even my MT50 tells me how much 12 volt I'm drawing. Not your 240, but it tells me my 12 volt. Obviously you can keep an eye on your 240 if you've got a meter. Yeah, that's about it, but just make sure you use the correct wire, because a lot of people, what they do, they use one cable, and that cable powers up everything, and that's done wrong, because that cable is taking a lot of current, especially 12 volt. People think 12 volt's not dangerous, but it can catch a fire. So obviously my van, technically I've got a wire separate for everything. Example, I've got a wire going to my lights, fused. I've got a wire to my fan, fused. I've got a wire to my TV, fused. Basically everything is separate wires. So what a lovely day today, and the van is beaming hot inside there, guys. I just can't bear it. Yeah, so next thing is my air conditioning unit. I'm looking at a little one now, so I'm gonna, as soon as I get it, guys, I will show you it, because I want a small one. I don't want to carry a big one in my van no more. Plus the big one's not bad, it runs all day, but it does take some power, trust me, it does. But obviously my solar is keeping up with it when we got weather like this. But obviously when it's, you know, weather's a bit not as good, it's not gonna hold up a bit. But you don't need it on when you ain't got good weather, right? So yeah, so I've replaced the solar controller, because that fried, that went, I don't know what happened to that. I think the weather was so hot and I wasn't really using the power, it just fried it. But anyway, I've got a new one now, working fine, doing a great job. Okay guys, I'm back in the van. and it's 35.9 in there. Wow. 12.3 left on my volts, 0.4 coming in, and the fridge is taking around 3 to 4 amps. And yes, I can feel it, it's nice and cold in there. Oh, at least that works now. So that's that. So put some stuff in there, and let me switch it off. Cool. Okay guys, as I got a temperature gauge in here, and obviously I want to, give you an honest review. And obviously you can't feel cold for a camera, right? So let me show you something. So take this out. And you can't, yeah, there you go. You can see the water. And this is fucking freezing. What I do, I put this against that black plate, because this one here gets really, really cold on 12 volt. And this one works when I put the 240, but it's getting cold, this one. But I'm not sure how it actually works. I'm not sure if this one's just connected to 12 volt and that one's just for the 240, because when I usually put it on 240, this thing here is cold, but this thing here is freezing. Look, let me show you. There you go. And when I usually put metal trays up there with ice, they turn into ice. But yeah, really happy with that. Working pucker. Peace. So this is what you got to realise, like, certain wires, it'll power it up, but it won't work correctly, and it won't draw the right amount of current to your fridge example. So yeah, let me wire this up, and I'll get back with you. And what a great result for England. It's coming home. Come on, England! I think we'll win the World Cup. Should win it. Anyway guys, I'm signing out now. I'll edit this video, get it up there for you, and hopefully that helps you out, guys.